Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. Now in the last video, which was the reaction to Playing God by Polyphia, I mentioned that the thing that inspired me to do that was I happened to notice that there was a new Tim Henson solo song that had been released, and I wanted to listen to Polyphia's song before that. And now that we've done that, today we are going to be listening to the new Tim Henson song, Original Sin. So let's get right into listening to this song here. Got that familiar stuff, but we've got some quick trend picking on those chords here. Get the bass drops. So that's a really cool opening there. We start with those, just some guitar chords there and a little bit of lead stuff there. I like one of these tones here on the guitars is a little messed up. It's a little wonky. It sounds like a DI with too much gain on it, that is a sound that I have heard people use before on records. And in this song, it works really well because it gives us a contrast point to the cleaner guitar. And it just sounds really cool with the mix. And then we've got a bit of the, dubstep influence in here, getting some of those big bass hits. Sounds really cool. And again, it's very rhythmic, which is something that is pretty consistent with Tim Henson's playing that I don't know if people really talk about enough. I mean, they really talk about his technical skill, obviously, with the instrument, but kind of the rhythmic feel of all of his playing is always pretty groovy and sounds pretty nice. So let's keep going. Bit of a quieter part here. Getting those chord tones in there. Again, focusing on those harmonic scales again. Ooh, this is a lot more pop sounding here. Very good point of contrast from all of the no field playing we got earlier. Okay, so before we get out of that soft part, so yeah, like I just said there, that's a really cool contrast because we had all this very tightly rhythmic playing filled with a lot of notes and chords. And then we go to this part here, which is quieter. It changes the feel up, simplifies the scale and the mode that we're in. And, has more of a pop kind of sound. And then we have that, kind of lo-fi squishy guitar sound here. I think that's a really cool arrangement choice. A little bit of a wacko. And that leads us back into the same motif from earlier. Aggressive picking those chords. There's the trem chords, trem kick chords. That one was very classical sounding. freaking love the drops there and the rhythm of this part. And then we quiet down for the end. We're gonna come back around, or is this the Polyphia quiet ending thing again? Very pretty. Alright everybody, there it is, Original Sin. That was a really fun track there to listen to. Again, you know, this is very similar to Polyphia thing, but he's kind of like, his guitar playing is kind of the star of Polyphia, as it were. So, you know, not unexpected. Again, harmonic kind of scales happening like they usually do. Because, like, of course, harmonic minor, I think, is a big kind of classical sounding thing. That's when you hear classical music, that's a lot of harmonic major or minor things usually. So that's kind of what makes that stick out a little bit. But again, Tim continues to impress with his playing, his ability to, you know, work his way through different chords and hit those different chords very quickly there, and you get the nice lead lines in between that fit everything together, you know, that flow really nice. And then we had some of the kind of tremolo picked chords, that kind of sound, which is a really cool kind of technique. And yeah, again, the thing that is big with Tim Henson's playing that might get overlooked is how rhythmic it is. He's very good at, you know, fitting note lines in places where they fit really nicely rhythmically, and doing these big hits of these chords at the right spots when the beat drops, just to really accentuate the groove. And I like the touch of having the dubstep style, you know, bass stabs and that kind of thing to, you know, keep on driving the rhythm even more. It sounds really cool. And of course we had the contrasting guitar tones, which is a pretty cool thing. And if you think about the subject matter of the song, and you saw with some of the imagery in the video as well, that's a really interesting, you know, dark, light, dark counterpoint kind of thing happening. So it's a really cool touch from, you know, the arrangement and the, you know, building the aesthetics of the song. And then we had that, you know, chilled out part where we had that bit of lo-fi but distorted with some gain guitar sound, and then he started bringing the wah pedal into it, which is a very cool thing, you know, to have that lull there in the middle of the song when we've had all this dense guitar music in the section before that. To have that section in there is a nice breather, and then it leads perfectly back into the same motifs we had, and eventually back into that same riff that he was playing for, I guess you would call it, chorus section, basically. Oh, that was really nice. And then they did the whole chilled out ending, you know, that has a lot of the instruments drop out the same way they do with like Polyphia stuff. So not unexpected there. But I mean, this song is just another great demonstration of Tim Henson's technique with the guitar, and also his ability to arrange guitar parts and to, you know, keep that rhythmic groove going through all of it so that it is enjoyable to listen to and not just, you know, boring instrumental music. It's very well thought out instrumental music. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this reaction to Original Sin by Tim Henson here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. Leave a comment down below if you like. And as always, don't forget to click the bell so that you know when a new video is going to be out on the channel. And I will see you guys next time in another video. Have a good one.